Hi everybody, this is Will Bowen with today's Jumpstart. So tell me, have you ever been on a mission about a book? You know, that you read a book and you're like, oh my gosh, everybody has to read this book. A few years ago, I gave everybody I know the 10X book. Anyway, great book. One of the first books that really just blew my mind and like, I've got to share this with everybody is the focus of our Jumpstart for today, because we're continuing our Masters of Life series. And today I want to share with you a book you've never heard of. If you've heard of this book, I want you to comment in the section below, okay? Because I've not found anyone who has heard this book, even though it's quite popular in some circles. So maybe you have, but let me know, okay? The book is titled The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. That's right. The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. It's by a man named Thaddeus Golas. He wrote the book when he was living in San Francisco. It was written in the 1960s. Totally hippie thing. He talks about smoking marijuana and about how that makes you feel more loving towards other people. But that's not what I'm into the book about. In fact, that's a minute portion of the book, just mentioned once or twice. What he talks about is that we basically live freaked out and in fear. And that's what keeps us from being enlightened. You know, the word enlightened simply means awake. Let me say that again. The word enlightened simply means awake. Someone once noticed the Buddha walking down a street, and as they were passing him, they said, "Sir, what is it? Did you just give birth? Did your wife just give birth to a son? Are you rich? Have you just had some great news? Why is it that you have such a wonderful, beatific, happy expression on your face?" And the Buddha, continuing to smile, simply said, "I'm awake." Awake? What does that mean? Awake to what? Awake to the fact that the things that we tend to freak out and be unhappy about, that rob us of our joy in the moment, most of them never happened. As we've all heard Mark Twain said, you know, I'm an old man and I've had many troubles, most of which never happened. To become awake is to be awake in the moment, to know that we are of the nature, as the Buddhists say, we are of the nature to grow old. We are of the nature to die. But that's not what we necessarily have to sit around and freak out about. Let us be happy and enjoy what we are and where we are and what we have right now. If you can find a copy, I meant to bring mine. It's upstairs in my loft. But mine was actually a Xerox copy somebody gave me in the 1980s, and it is the most dog-eared thing you have ever seen. I went through and highlighted the book the first time I read it in orange highlight. Then the next time I went through and highlighted passages in blue, and then in green and yellow, and it looks like a rainbow when you open it up, and sometimes they're just highlighted in black because I've highlighted them with every color. Awesome book. Now let's get to the quote I want to share with you that I think is going to be very impactful for your day. Thaddeus Golas at the end of the book lists what he calls even lazier. Now remember, the name of the book is The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. So he lists several aphorisms that he says help bring him up when he is not being enlightened, when he's not being awake. And my favorite one, and one he repeats many times, is, what is it that you feel needs to be loved right now? Let me say that again. What is it that you feel needs to be loved right now? Wow. When you're upset, when you're stressed, sometimes the answer is me. I feel like I need to be loved right now. Okay, well, good. Acknowledge that. Do what you can do to get that love. You know, love yourself. But, you know, when there's contention, when your child is upset, or when your boss is upset, or when something is going on, even in national emergencies, ask yourself, what is it that needs to be loved right now? If you truly believe, and everybody says, love is the greatest power on earth, well then, why aren't you doing it when you're in the middle of the biggest tragedies in your life? That's what you need to begin to do, to ask yourself, what is it that needs to be loved right now? Try it and enjoy today, and we'll talk tomorrow. Bye-bye.